Hi everybody, this is Angelo Quinones and happy Valentine's Day. It's a day early, but tomorrow's Valentine's Day and that's just a deal. Now this is the second message I uploaded I should say, on YouTube concerning Valentine's Day. So what's the deal? Now, you know what the Lord said, some have chosen to be eunuchs for the kingdom of God's sakes, and the gift of marriage is given to the people who have the gift of marriage. It's just a deal. But there are a lot of people out there, that call themselves Christians that want to mate, that want to get married. You understand what I'm saying? And the way some people are doing it are just not going to cut it. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Now, listen. Let me give you some advice. You understand what I'm saying? Not going to give you the advice because I know the word of God. Now, if you want yourself to be attractable to the opposite sex, nowadays you don't know. Because, the thing is, according to the Bible, God created Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. You understand what I'm saying? Supposed to be, and that's the first issue. There's supposed to be, marriage is supposed to be between a man and a woman. You understand what I'm saying? Not a man and a man. Not a woman and a woman. You understand what I'm saying? No. Not according to Romans chapter, Romans chapter 1. Women with women working that, which is unseemly. Like the man also. Changing their very natures. No. That's not Christianity. Christianity talks about Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. That's the first issue. You understand what I'm saying? It's absolutely amazing. I will even have to say that, bring that out. But this is the deal. Now, you say you want to get married, right? Why, you're making yourself attractive? First of all, you're a Christian. Now, if you're a Christian, you can't be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. You know, let's check that out. Let's listen. Let's read the Bible. Okay, let's go to 2 Corinthians. You understand what I'm saying? 2 Corinthians chapter 6. I believe it's in chapter 6 around verse 18. I mean, All right. Now, if you have a relationship with somebody who's not of your faith, just forget it. Okay, that's not God's will. That's not God's will. As a matter of fact, that's against God's will. But let's check it out. Let's see where that is. So, check this out. Let's begin around verse 13, chapter 6 of 2 Corinthians. Now, in a like exchange, I speak as to children. Open wide to us also. Verse 14. Do not be bound together with unbelievers. Check this out. What partnership have righteousness and lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? Verse 15. Oh, what harmony has Christ with Belial? Meaning a demon, okay? Oh, what has a believer in common with an unbeliever? Now, verse 16. Or what agreement has the temple? Check this out. Let me go to the next page. The temple of God with idols. For we are the temple of the living God, just as God said. Quote, I will dwell in them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. They shall be my people. Verse 17. Therefore, come out from there, midst, and separate. Check this out, says the Lord. And do not touch what is unclean, and I will welcome you. Verse 18, and I will be a father to you, and you shall be sons and daughters to me, says the Lord Almighty. That's just all there is to it. The first thing you gotta understand before you seek a mate is you have to seek somebody like you. That's just the deal. Can't seek darkness. You might as well be sleeping with somebody from a cemetery. You understand what I'm saying? Alas, there's a lot of people, okay, having sex with people from the cemetery. You understand what I'm saying? Well, if you have an unbelieving spouse, okay, or an unbelieving boyfriend or girlfriend, I mean, not that you should be sleeping with them, but I'm just saying you have no communion. There's no fellowship. Don't let it get to that point, intimacy, with an unbeliever. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you something, okay? Let me bring up this example for a lot of you young girls out there, okay? I know that a lot of people are going to watch this in the future. Okay, the future tense in Greek. There you go. Can you please be independent, girls? Can you stop living under daddy and mommy for the rest of your life, please? Now, I can see if you're like 20 years old or 30 years old, stuff like that. I mean, I got at my mom's house when I was 34 or 35. That's okay. I mean, you're starting up, stuff like that, or whatever the case, but you got to get up on your feet. You got to buy your own house, got to get your own job. I mean, those things take time. But I know I had a friend from Florida, okay? And do you know that she's still living with her mom and she's over 50 years of age? Come on. You mean to tell me you're going to be with daddy and mommy for 50 stinking years? I mean, the thing is unthinkable. 50 years. No wonder you don't have anybody, though. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be independent. That's what I'm talking about. And let me talk to the guys out there. You want a girlfriend and you don't have a job and you don't have a home. Well, how are you gonna get a girl? What girl in their right mind will want to be with a man that doesn't have a job, doesn't have a house? You understand what I'm saying? Doesn't have a car that's not the issue. I mean, in New York City, man, you don't need a car. If you're in New York City, you can take the bus, you can take the train, you can take the plane, you can take a taxi, you can take a dollar van, you can take a stretcher ride. I mean, you have all those options. Now, some places you don't have those options. So maybe as if you're a woman out there, you want to see, well, I want to have to travel. I don't have a car. I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, he doesn't have a car. I don't have a car. How are we going to get around? I mean, unless you have everything by you, you have the store by you, the supermarket by you, stuff like that. Your job is near you. I mean, whatever. I mean, you make it call the taxi every day if you have a good job. So you don't really need a car. The car is not really the issue. The issue is, are you independent? And if you're not, you can plain old forget about it. Now, check this out. I say this, in Christ Jesus, I lie not. My conscience bear me witness in the Holy Spirit, like the Apostle Paul said. Romans, I should say, chapter 10, verse 1. You know that a woman can change your future, guys out there? A woman can change your future. Now, when Obama married Michelle, that changed, his future. He wouldn't have become president of the United States without a woman like Michelle Obama. It would have been absolutely impossible for that man to be in the White House as the president without a good woman like that. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. When I first looked at the campaign of 2007 or 8, for the presidency of the United States, actually it was the primaries, the Democratic primaries at the time, I didn't even see Obama yet. I didn't even know him. I didn't know his name. I didn't know what was going on. I had no conception. I had no idea. I heard Michelle Obama speak about her husband, somebody called Barack Obama, that my brother told me about a couple of years before. That this guy coming up the scene, And I'm telling you, he might become president of the United States. And I say, yeah, right. I mean, come on, stop. I mean, Obama. It's, Obama, come on, who's that? And then I heard Michelle speak a couple of years later. And I didn't know anything about Barack at all. Okay? And she was talking about Barack and, he's this and he's that and he's and all this stuff. And I said, my God, look how intelligent this woman is. Imagine her husband, how intelligent he must be to have a woman so intelligent like this and so self-assured in a good way, not proud or anything like that, not a racist. You know what I mean? Not this Malcolm X attitude. You understand what I'm saying? And by the way, Malcolm X, really, guys? You mean to tell me this is just an aside, you mean to tell me he was going to speak all around the United States and possibly the world with Martin Luther King? How dare you, as a church, let somebody like Malcolm X speak in a church? The guy was from Islam. And the only reason why he got kicked out of Islam is not because he became a Christian. It's because he actually, get this, he actually exposed Elijah Muhammad to fornication. Okay, he exposed him as a fornicator with 9 of his secretaries, begetting children, illegitimate children as a Muslim with 9 of his secretaries. And you mean to tell me that Malcolm X was allowed to speak in church or in a congregation before he got wiped out by Elijah Muhammad? You mean to tell me he was going to speak in a church? Really? Now that was like 50, stinking years ago. But it's just food for thought. Let the person convert first, then he can speak in church. All right, that's just a deal with that, though. Can't let somebody from Islam, I don't care if it's the police department, come in the church of the living God to say, oh, well, Islam is not really this. And it's happening, though. And it was happening in some churches about a couple of years ago. There was this Islamic dude going around church saying, oh, well, something, our religion is not so, violent. Give me a break. All right, guys, but check this out. So the woman is very important to the man. If you're a man out there of God, and you want to get places, you want to have a great ministry, you want to do amazing things, you marry somebody, man, that's a great wife. Because if you don't have a great wife, she's gonna be an anchor around your ankle, always witching, whining. I can't say another word. Always witching and whining and complaining about the time you spend on studying the Bible, the time you spend in going to church, always witching and whining every stinking time. She's gonna have your head and your feet to the ground. She wants you to do what she wants to do. If she doesn't want to go to church, she's gonna force you not to go to church. She's gonna witch and squeal every time you go to church. You don't want a woman like that. You don't want a man like that. If you're a woman out there and you live the church, you live Jesus, you live to serve, you can't have somebody weighing you down that's a stinking unbeliever, a dead corpse, right from the cemetery, marrying that person because he's going to weigh you down. He's going to weigh you down every stinking time. Mark my word. That's why the Apostle Paul said, do not be unequally yoked together with an unbeliever. What does light have to do with darkness? What does Christ have to do with Belial? What does God, the temple of God, have to do, meaning our bodies, have to do with idols? As God said, separate from them and be ye separate, saith the Lord. Then I'll be with you. You understand what I'm saying? In tremendous fullness and power. But there's a lot of girls out there that want to be like Mank. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, they want they want the world. They want men, okay, right, that makes them happy physically. Well, you ain't got nobody in the church to do that? Do you want to marry a dead corpse, really? Would you go to the cemetery right now and have sex with a body that's dead? to have a relationship. Would you speak to somebody right now from a cemetery? Go ahead, go to the cemetery. Go to your nearest cemetery. Go over there and speak to somebody who's dead. That's what you're doing every stinking time you're on the phone with an unbeliever. Every stinking time that you're out on a date with an unbeliever. Every stinking time that you're speaking to your boyfriend, you understand? And he's an unsaved, you know what? That's what you're doing. And you're spitting right in the face of God just because you want just because you want somebody to tickle your rear end. And I wonder who, but no, okay. I wonder if that's what Jesus talks about, the 5 foolish virgins that, yeah, they say they love Jesus. Oh, I love Jesus. I love him. Oh, praise God. They're shaking their booty in church, shaking their rear ends and shaking their hands in the air like they just don't care, and spitting right in the face of Christ and wanting what they want to do right after they go to church. Then they speak on their stinking cell phones to their stinking boyfriends who don't even love the Lord. And I wonder if those girls are just part of the clan, the 5 foolish virgin clan, those who have no life in Christ. Okay, all right. And they just say they love the Bible. They just say they love the church. They just are tasters. You understand what I'm saying? The tasters that Hebrews chapter 6 speaks about. The tasters. You understand what I'm saying? You know, like when Jesus, I'll give you an example of the tasters. The Greek word tasting, you know, taste. When Jesus said he thirsts and somebody gave him something to drink, he just tasted it, didn't even drink it. Didn't even drink it. Now that's the same Greek word that's used for taste, the taste, okay, all right, in Hebrews chapter 6. You have these people, men and women, that want what they want and who absolutely spurn Christianity. That's just what you can't have that. Now, if you want the love of your life, you have to do it in God's way. If you want the love of your life, you have to do it the Bible way. If you want the love of your life, you have to be led by the Holy Spirit of God. If you want the love of your life, you have to do the will of God. And those who are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. They are the daughters of God. Sons of God, that's recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 14. Now that takes care of that. Now, if you want a tremendous spouse that will uplift you when you're down, that won't witch and squeal every stinking time, all right, just like the wife of Job, curse God and die. And what did Job say to that woman? You speak as one of the foolish women speak. What? Shall we not receive good from the hands of God? Shall we not receive, calamity as well? You're speaking like the unbelieving woman. I thought I married a good woman, though. I thought I married a woman of God. I thought that listen. I thought that I married a woman, a virtuous woman, like like the women that I heard about. That Adam spoke about. You understand what I'm saying? I thought that I was marrying somebody that wasn't going to be a pain in the rear. I thought that I was marrying somebody that wasn't going to be a pain in the neck. I thought that I was marrying somebody that when calamity comes, she ain't going to curse God and ask me to die. That's what you have sometimes, though. Sometimes you have girls like that. They don't know what the hell they're saying. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want a girl like that. You don't want a man like that that's keeping you down, keeping you away from church, keeping you away from the Bible, keeping you away from God. You don't want somebody like that. You rather stay alone, but you want to stay by yourself. You don't want somebody out there on Facebook that's showing her rear end like about 12 degrees to the left and 10 degrees to the right. They ain't got nothing on. Now I got some friends on Facebook that dress like that. That shit is always showing their fat rear end, like big deal. Who wants to see it? Why do I have to be subjected to a picture plastered right in front of my kisser that she has a rear end as fat as Big Mama from the Fat Albert cartoon? I don't want to see that. I don't want a woman like that. You understand what I'm saying? There's always plastering her rear end, okay, on Instagram or on Facebook. Not me. I want people to say in the church, what a woman of God Angelo has. What an amazing woman. What a woman of God. What a virtuous woman. And if I don't get it, I'm going to stay the way I am. Tell you that right now. I'm going to stay single, guys. I'm telling you. I don't care. There's a lot of people that need to be married. They need. Not me. I don't need to be married. I don't need to be married with somebody that's always witching, whining, and squealing. Why are you reading the Bible at 10 o'clock in the night? Oh, why are you always going to church? I don't go to church. Why you got to go to church? I don't want somebody like that. Think I want somebody like that? I don't want somebody like that. I don't want somebody like that. You understand what I'm saying? Why marry somebody that's going to keep you down and out? You ain't going to be nothing in the church with a woman like that, I'm telling you. Or with a man like that. You're not going to be anybody in the church. Unless you're a rebel, against your wife or your husband, and then you go to church on your own like you're supposed to do, because Jesus said, whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, taking it to the immediate family. Whoever loves husband or wife than me, more than me, is not worthy of me. Whoever loves a daughter and son more than me is not worthy. You're not worthy. You're not. That's just all there is to it. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's just deep. And then these girls on Facebook, man, they have their behind splattered all over the place. What are you gonna do when you're 70 years old and you don't have a booty that nobody wants to look at? Then what's gonna happen? When you don't have a rear end that nobody wants to look at when you're 80 years old, what are you gonna if you even reach that age? The way you're going, man, you guys are gonna die at the age of 30. You know how many women are in the cemetery right now from last year? Girls that were on Instagram, girls that were on Facebook with their nose right in their telephones. No time for God, no time for the Bible, no time for church, and that's just the damn where they're at. They're dead. This day your soul shall be required of thee. To whom much is given, much shall be required. You understand what I'm saying? Required. I mean, I don't even know. You understand what I'm saying? This is the woman of God that's in the Bible. Check this out. Let's go read Proverbs. Let's read the Bible, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's read the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? Let's read it. Let's go to Proverbs, okay, chapter 31. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you don't want to be with somebody who's not independent, who's still with their parents after 50 stinking years. That's not the Bible that I see. Always sleeping at 12 o'clock in the daytime. Watching soap operas, left and right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that, but I mean, that's their life. That's what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with watching a soap opera, or anything like that. I don't think so anyway. Yeah, you don't want a woman like that, okay? You understand? All right, let's check out Proverbs chapter 31. Check this out. The words of King Lenny. Now, let me see if I can skip some of this and go to the nitty gritty, though, about the virtuous woman. I mean, let me see. Let's check this out. The virtuous woman. Now, check this out, guys. Verse 10. Let's see if your woman compares to this. Verse 10 of Proverbs chapter 31, quote, an excellent wife who can find. Look at that. An excellent wife, not just a wife, an excellent wife who can find. For her worth is far above jewels. See that? The heart of her husband trusts in her. Oh, but there's some of these girls on Facebook, man, that their heart is in their jewelry, though. But this says, for her worth is far above jewels. Verse 11. Okay, the heart of her husband trusts in her. You don't want to marry a woman that's always showing her rear end all over the place. You can't trust in a woman like that. And he will have no lack of gain. Look at that. Now, verse 12. She does him good and not evil. You understand what I'm saying? All the days of her life. Now, verse 13. She looks for, wool and flax. Does it say she sleeps all the day? This is a hard-working woman, though. All right. She looks for wool and flax, and works with her hands in daylight. In delight, I should say. In daylight also, but in delight. You know why men don't want to marry some of you girls out there? Because you're lazy, fat gluttons. That's why. That's the deal. And the deal is the deal. Now, verse 14. This is the virtuous woman. She is like merchant ships. Look at that. She is like merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. Now, verse 15. She rises also while it is still night. But you have some women out there that go, that snores. And by the way, guys and gals, if you snore, get a Zipa, please. Happy Z spelled backwards. I mean, Christian or not, how dare you snore and keep your spouse awake all night, though? Goodness gracious. All right, verse 15. She rises also while it is still night and gives food to her household. You understand what I'm saying? But nowadays, you got wives that just go to McDonald's and say, oh, here you go. That's okay. That's okay. And people don't even have that, but still. All right, it says over here, and portions to her maidens. So she shares. Now, verse 16. She considers a field and buys it. You see, she got brains. A woman of God. You understand what I'm saying? She's industrial. She sells some goods and get a profit. She considers a field and buys it. You understand what I'm saying? From her earnings. She, plants a vineyard. Look at that. Doesn't say she plasters her behind on Facebook, though, right? Now, verse 17. Look at that. She girds herself with strength. What does that mean? Well, with the Bible. She's strong in the word of the Lord. She goes to church. She loves the people of God and gets good advice from them. She makes herself strong and makes her arms strong. Now, verse 18. She senses that her gain is good. So she has a good conscience. You understand what I'm saying? She's not plastering her breasts on Facebook. You understand what I'm saying? No. She senses that her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out at night. Oh, wait a minute. Does it not sound familiar? Then the Lord said that the 5 foolish virgins' lamps are going dark. That's what it says. Oh, give me. We ain't got enough for all of us. Too bad. I ain't going to give you. Talking about the church now. I ain't giving you my oil. Get going. Buy for yourself. Oh, the Lord is coming, Angelo. Come on. Do something about it. No, I ain't doing nothing about it. All right, verse 19. She stretches out her hands to, says over here, okay, to, what is this? To distaff? What's that? I got to check out that translation. I got an issue with that. We can't be saying that the King James has difficult words, and I don't even know what this one is. All right, it says over here, and her hands, okay, grasp the spindle. She works with her hands. Now, verse 20, she extends her hand to the poor. Okay, and she stretches out her hands to the needy. I was talking to a girl a couple of weeks ago. And man, check this out. I said that I had to buy something, okay, for the cemetery for my mom. And this lady knows me for 40 years. You understand what I'm saying? And she wasn't even willing to open up her mouth and say, you know something, Angelo, I know you for 40 years. We went in the same school. Okay. You were like in the 7th grade. Now I was like in the 6th grade or whatever the case may be. She didn't even open up her mouth not one time to say, you know something, Angelo, I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you something so that way you can have for your mom in the cemetery, because I know she actually really died. And I said, that wasn't the thing, that wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back. There was a lot of things. Independence was another issue. Being with her mom and pop for so long. Wishy-washy in her decisions. And let me tell you something, guys. If you see a girl that's wishy-washy, she wants to stay with her parents, let's stay. You don't want somebody like that. You're not married. You don't want a child, okay? You understand what I'm saying? No. I said, man, she doesn't even have the decency and the gall to say, here you go. Have this for your mom and for the cemetery. It wasn't even. It didn't even occur to her. You understand what I'm saying? And then she wanted me to buy her a Star Trek Tribble. Get somebody else to buy it, not me. I thank God she's gone too. I'll tell you that much. Good riddance. She, senses that her gain is good. Now, I already mentioned that. Verse 20. She extends her hand to the poor. So she's not a selfish witch. You understand what I'm saying? And she stretches out her hands to the needy. Going to the, talking about the Watchtower Society now. There's some people in the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society that know nothing about World Vision. You got women in the Watchtower Society, not that I will go out with any of those, okay? You have people in the Watchtower Society that don't even know about World Vision. Don't marry somebody of a cult. Don't marry into somebody who's a Mormon. Don't marry somebody who's a Catholic if you're an evangelical. Don't marry somebody from Islam. Don't even marry somebody from the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. No, it's a waste of time. Verse 21. She is not afraid of the snow for her household. Look at that. She ain't afraid of the snow. And there's some women that make some stupid excuses. Oh, I can't be with you because of my mother, my mommy, and my daddy. And then they have they're probably saying this in the crib. You understand what I'm saying? In the playpen with the finger sticking up their nose and the thumb sticking in their mouth. Can't have somebody like that, wishy-washy. Probably is not even a Christian. She is not afraid. Look at that. But you have a whole bunch of women that are cowards, though. You got to pick the right one, fellas. Because when the chips are down, okay, that's the deal. When the chips are down, man, you're gonna say, my God, what did I marry? I married somebody like that. There's always witching, whining, squealing about God. There's always witching, whining, and squealing about reading the Bible. And then you want to read the Bible with your woman, and she goes, no, I ain't got no time. But she has time to take a bath. She has time to put her makeup on, though. She has time to shop. She has time to open up her big fat mouth. She has time to speak to her friends on the phone. She has time to go to work. She has time to eat. She has time to sleep. Just a stinking excuse that she ain't got time for the word of God. She ain't got time to pray with you. She ain't got time to go to church with you. Then you don't go to church because she doesn't go to church, though. What kind of woman is that? She's bringing you down. All right, verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sits among the elders of the land. Look at that, see? Look at that. But I bet you he got there in popularity in the land because of the wife, though. You understand what I'm saying? Now, verse 24. She makes linen garments and sells them. And and it says over here, and supplies belts to the tradesmen. Look at that. This is the second time it says that she sells something over here. You understand what I'm saying in the chapter? Now, verse 25. Strength and dignity are her loin, are her clothing. But nowadays, women ain't got no clothing, though. You got to be constantly bombarded. Now, when I make friends on Facebook, listen, I'm not going to say, well, this one is like this and this one like... They're all my friends. Even if they're in a bikini or whatnot, I'll just poke it and say, okay, these people need the word of God. I'm not going to be, oh, well, this one is this and this one is that. Okay, this one is a bikini. This one is showing up her rear end. I'm not going to be prejudiced like that. I'm just going to, but I have to speak about it, though. Once they're my friends, I'll let you know. That's not the way of God. To show your stinking rear end up the nose of somebody's face, that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go. What are you going to do when you reach 60 years old and your beauty is gone? Your beauty is shot. You ain't got no more beauty anymore. You look like you're, at the end of your life. You look like, look like a rag doll or something like that. Then what are you going to do? So what are you going to do when you reach 50 or 60 or 70 years old? You can't work for that magazine no more. Can't be a model. Can't be anybody like that. So what are you going to do? All right. It says over here, she opens her mouth in wisdom. Look at that. Wisdom, though. Verse 26. That's what you should say to your wife when she opens up her big fat mouth and says, listen, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. I don't want to read the Bible. I don't want to go to church. And as a matter of fact, I don't want to listen to you either. Read her. Okay, Proverbs 31:26. She opens her mouth in wisdom. Look at that. And the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Look at that. It's on her tongue. Yes, see that? Not only is she industrious, she sells. Not only does she work in the night and not afraid of the snow, but she actually opens up her mouth in wisdom, though. Man, I want a woman like that. Not that every stinking time she's opening up a big fat booty to everybody in the street, opening up a big fat mouth to every stinking guy, and everything that comes out of the mouth is a curse, and everything that comes out of her mouth is a crime, and everything that comes out of her mouth is a lie. I don't want somebody like that. Let you have her. I want her. Verse 26. She opens up her mouth in wisdom. Tell that to your wife when she opens up her stinking mouth every stinking time. Verse 26, Proverbs 31. Let's check out Proverbs 31:27. She looks well to the ways of her household. Look at that. And does not eat the bread of idleness. Look at that. Now check this out. I was talking to a girl last week. That guy ain't talking to her no more. From Florida. I said, what are you going to do tomorrow? She goes like this. I don't know. That's a woman that has no direction. That's a woman that ain't got a plan. That's a woman that ain't got a clue. That's a woman that's busy and doing nothing, and she does nothing. I don't want a woman like that. Look at this, what verse 27 says. She looks well to her ways, okay, of her household. You see, you understand what I'm saying? And does not eat the bread of idleness, meaning she's not a lazy, fat glutton. Or she ain't a skinny glutton. It doesn't make a difference if you're fat or skinny. I don't want to point that out. Maybe you guys could, maybe you girls and you could lose a couple of pounds if you want somebody to desire you, you know. There's actually women, okay, there's always complaining to God, why ain't got somebody for me? Why? Because you're fat and unattractive. That's why. Ain't nobody why yet. As a man of God, I have a choice. I have choices. That's what James Boyce said. He said, pick the prettiest one. I got a right to choose. I can choose who I want. I can choose a skinny one. I can choose a fat one. I can choose anybody in between. Doesn't make a difference to me if she got her heart in the right place. But don't be complaining at God. Just look at the mirror, though. It's not God's fault that you weigh like 300 pounds. It's not God's fault that you don't comb your hair. It's not God's fault that you don't put some perfume on you. It ain't God's fault that you ain't put no makeup on. Don't blame God. That's the deal. And the deal is the deal. Don't be blaming God for your unattractiveness, though. My mom, who was a woman, by the way, said that every woman upon this globe is attractive. Now, if they make themselves unattractive, they ain't God's fault. He says at the Sermon on the Mount, I think chapter 6, he says, when you fast, don't make a sad face, you know, to appear unto man that you're fasting, but anoint your head and wash your face. There you go. Anoint your head and wash your face and look attractive. Because guess what? You ain't gonna get that fish. You ain't gonna get him. And there's plenty of fish in the sea. That's just all there is to it. In the sea. Plenty of fish in the sea. Always moaning, witching, complaining. I'm alone. God, well, look in the mirror. I mean, even Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror, go ahead and look. The mirror don't lie, folks. I mean, my sister used to look in the mirror and say, man, this mirror ain't doing me justice. Ain't the mirror's fault. All right. That's just a deal. All right, verse 28. Let's check it out. Her children rise up and bless her. Look at that. Her husband also, and he, I should say, praises her though, saying, okay, Many daughters, okay, have done nobly, but you excel them all. Look at that, verses 28 and 29. Oh, my children always complaining about me. Oh, yeah, they should though. You're always listening to telephone calls and stuff like that, checking out your daughters, ain't giving them no privacy. Can't do this, can't do that. And you want your children to honor you and to bless you? It says over here that the virtuous woman gets praise from her children. Her children rises up and blesses her. That's what it says. And not only them, but the husband does also. Her husband also, and he praises her. That's the deal. So if you ain't being praised by your husband, you ain't getting praised by your children, you're doing something wrong. That's all there is to it. I want to hear it. Now, verse 30. Charm is, check this out. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman who fears the Lord, the tetragrammaton is here, that's Jehovah, she shall be praised. Now, let me read that again, it's quite clear. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. Now check this out though. Charm is deceitful. Don't be charmed by a foolish woman, guys. That's very deceitful. I mean, don't go by her charm. That's not Christianity, not necessarily. It says over here, verse 30 of chapter 31 of the book of Proverbs, the Song of Solomon, charm is deceitful. Now check the second part out, and beauty is vain. It's empty, it says over here in the Hebrew. Why? Well, it's a passing thing. You're going to be beautiful today, tomorrow. When you're 40 and 50 and 60 and 70, you ain't going to have that beauty anymore. Then what are you going to have? It says over here, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman who fears the Lord, she, shall be praised. Now check this out. Now you may say, but I don't want a woman like that who just fears the Lord. I mean, what's that a benefit to me? Well, if she fears the Lord, she's going to comb her hair. If she fears the Lord, she's going to take a bath. If she fears the Lord, she's going to put some perfume on so she can smell good. That's the deal. So she fears the Lord, she's going to do all of these things to make herself attractive, even after an old age to her husband. If she fears the Lord, she's going to do all these things. You don't have to worry about her, though. If she fears the Lord, that's step 1. Everything else comes step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And she's going to do the rest. You don't have to worry about those other steps. If she fears the Lord, that's the foundation that you're looking for, okay? That is the foundation. That's the foundation that you guys are seeking. That's the foundation. You start there, not in her charm, not in her beauty, but her fear for the Lord. That's just it. You start right there, right then and there. Because you know she's going to take a bath. She knows she's going to treat her temple, meaning her body, which belongs to the man, and which is going to belong to the man if they're not married. You know she's going to work on that. You know she ain't going to be crazy. You know she ain't going to be a witch. You know she ain't going to be a snitch. You know she ain't going to, okay. That's all there's to it. Verse 31. Give her the product of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Look at that. That's what's going to praise her, is her works. Now, you can't earn salvation. You can't earn eternal life. You can't buy God. You can't buy salvation. What is it talking about? What is it talking about? A woman already in the covenant. This is talking about a woman who's already saved. This is talking about a woman who's already being praised because she's saved. You understand what I'm saying? And because she fears God and turns away from evil. That's what kind of a woman you want. You don't want a snitch. You don't want a witch. You don't want somebody who's dead in trespasses and sins. You want somebody who's alive in Christ. And her beauty is not in her face only. You can desire that, I agree. But her beauty is in the inner beauty of the Holy Spirit that shines right through her character. And then you can see the character of Christ in her works. And not just in her big mouth. Because it said in one of these verses over here, okay, that she opens up her mouth in wisdom. What verse was that? Check it out. Verse 26. She opens her mouth in wisdom. She doesn't praise herself. Verse 31 says, give her the product of her hands. And let her works praise her. She's not boasting about herself. You don't see one woman of the true living God taking a picture right in front of her kisser. You see that on Facebook a lot, don't you guys? You see a woman taking a picture of herself, a selfie, right in front of her kisser. That's not what you want. Then that's not what you deserve. But let me tell you something. If you want a girl of the world, that's what you're gonna get. And I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something, guys. That you're not going to get that far with a woman like that, okay? Because every time you want to go to church, every time you want to read the Bible, every time you want to follow God, she's going to hold you down. So what's the deal? What should we do about all these things, though? Well... Stay away from a woman like that. And if you have a woman like that, all right, you're already married to a woman like that, doesn't want to go to church, doesn't want to see God, doesn't want to pray, well, you're stuck with her, though. Can't divorce her, though. Now, if she leaves, well, then it says in the Bible in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, if the unbeliever departs, let him depart, meaning him or her. All right, a sister or a brother is not bound to in such a case, but God has joined us to peace. So if one of these days your unbelieving spouse departs, you can get married again, okay? Only in the Lord. Now, let me read that, okay? This is quite clear. And I said to somebody, okay, that I gave advice to get married again when his wife left him, I said, well, according to, I know that everybody's not saying this, but according to what the Bible says, you can get married again. First of all, it's not good that a man be alone. That's number one. Now, if he wants to become a eunuch for the kingdom of God's sake, okay, that's good. That's what Jesus said. But let's get to the issue, to the nitty gritty. And by the way, if a virgin wants to get married, she has not sinned. I mean, you ain't got a lot of virgins going on, you know. That's the problem, though. All right. Let's just see over here. That's like around the sort of last verses of chapter 7 of 1 Corinthians, okay? You understand what I'm saying? All right, so let's see here. Check this out. Verse 37. I'm sorry, verse, let me see. All right. Verse 37 to the end of the chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Quote. But this is the great marriage chapter. So if you wanna read a marriage chapter in the Bible, read 1 Corinthians chapter 7. At verse 37, quote. But he who stands firm in his heart, being under no constraint, meaning he doesn't want to get married, he doesn't need to get married, but has, authority over his own will and has decided this is his own heart to keep his own, okay, virgin daughter. I don't agree with this translation. He, okay, will do well. I don't agree with that. First of all, the word daughter is not even in the text, though. Okay? There's two interpretations. Giving in marriage, like giving a daughter away, or giving yourself in marriage. I mean, there's two interpretations of this. The NIV has the other way. Okay, but let's check this out anyway from the NASB. Daughter is not there. Verse 38. So then, okay, both he who gives his own, okay, virgin daughter in marriage does well, or gives himself in marriage. Okay, that's two interpretations. And he who does not give her, okay, in marriage will do better. Now check this out, verse 39. A wife is not bound as long as her husband lives, but if her husband is dead, she is free, okay, to be married to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. Now, that's not what I want, though. I want the one that, you know, the verse that says that if the unbeliever depart, let him depart. Let me see. But I want to you be free from, okay, concern. All right, just let's pick it up at verse 32. But I want you to be free from concern. Okay, one who is unmarried is, okay, concerned about the things of the Lord, how he may please the Lord. You see, it's not a crime to be single, guys. You got your wives, okay, that's up to you. But us who are single, we want no distraction. That's just the deal. Paul says ain't bad not to be married. You understand what I'm saying? You got your wives, that's why your wives always nagging you, witching, whining, squealing, complaining. All right. Verse 33. But one who is married is, look at this, is concerned about the Lord? No. Is concerned about the things of the world, how he may please his wife. Look at that. Now on primarily how he may please, his Lord. Verse 34. And his interests are divided. Look at that. You see? His interests are divided. And the woman, okay, who is unmarried, and the virgin is concerned about the things of the world? No, it says the thing of the Lord, the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and spirit. But one who is married is concerned about the things of the Lord? Not according to verse 34. Are concerned about the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Now check this out, verse 35. Now, and this I say for your own benefit. Now, why is this a benefit? Well, if you know she's concerned about you, that's a good thing. If you know that he's concerned about you, that's a good thing. You can take advantage of that and not be squealing and whining and not trusting your spouse when she goes out. You know the Bible says that you can trust her because she's concerned about you, about her own husband. So use it to your advantage. Verse 35. And this I say for your own benefit, not to put a restraint upon you, but to promote what is seemly, and to secure undistracted devotion to the Lord. You see that? We have unrestricted devotion to the Lord, those of us who are not married. You understand what I'm saying? Now, verse 36. But if any man thinks that he is acting unbecomingly toward his virgin or virginity, a virgin, I don't understand this. Doesn't match. A virgin daughter, that doesn't make sense. So I don't like this translation. I like the NIV better. She should be of full age And if it must be so, okay, let him do what he wishes. He does not sin. Let her marry. Now, what is the verse that talks about, okay, that if an unbeliever leaves, okay? Let me see if I could just find it one more time, okay? All right, so it says over here, verse 24, brethren, okay, let each man remain, okay, with God in that, okay, condition in which he was called. Now he's talking about circumcision, slavery, and marriage. So if God had called you to be to work, and nowadays not no slavery, okay, you work. If he called you to be circumcised, you be circumcised. If he called you to be uncircumcised, you be uncircumcised. If he called you to be married, be married. If he called you to be unmarried, you're not. That's all there is to it. Verse 25. Now concerning virgin, I have no, says the Apostle Paul, command of the Lord, but I give an opinion as one who, by the mercy of the Lord, is trustworthy. Verse 26. I think then that this is good in view, okay, of the present distress, that it is good for a man, okay, to remain as he is, meaning unmarried. That's just the deal. Verse 27. Are you bound to a wife? Do not seek to be released. Are you released from a wife? Okay, do not seek a wife. Now, verse 28. But if you should marry, you have not sinned. And if a virgin should marry, she has not sinned. Yes, such will have trouble in this life, and I am trying to spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time has been, okay, shortened, so that from now on, okay, those who have wives should be as though they had none. So if you have a wife now, don't boast. You ain't gonna have her. There's gonna come a day that you ain't gonna have your wife, either by death or she's gonna die, and that's just the deal. Verse 30. And those who weep as those they did not weep, and those who rejoice as though they did not rejoice, and those who buy as though they did not possess. Verse 31. And those who use the world as though they did not make full use of it. For the form or the fashion of this world is passing away. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the deal. Now, I didn't find the verse that I wanted about, departing and stuff like that. Now, let me see. I think it's in this verse right over here. And this is the last verse, batch of verses I'm going to read from verse 15. I almost read the whole chapter. Okay, I should have read it. Yet if this is it right here, verse 15. Now let's begin with verse 14. Okay, this is if you guys are married. Check this out, verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified, okay, through his wife, and the unbelieving wife, okay, all right, is sanctified through her believing husband. So that gives you an excuse to be with darkness? No. That means if you're already married, now he's talking to people that were already married when they became a Christian. So the Bible says, well, don't just because you became a Christian, don't put him away or don't put her away because she's going to be sanctified in one way or another. Doesn't give you an excuse or me an excuse to seek an unbeliever. But if the Bible comes to you as a married couple already and you know you have an unbelieving spouse, well, they don't put that person away. Don't say, well, I just became a Christian, so that means I'm a believer and my spouse is not. That gives me a right to put him away or her away. The Bible doesn't say that. Verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified, okay, all right, through his wife. And the unbelieving wife, okay, all right, is sanctified through her husband. Now, it says over here, and I better, that's about it. Yeah, I better put some juice over here, though. Let me put some power on the phone. Okay. It's getting interesting over here. Now, let me see what I can do. All right, just plug this baby in there, and I have some juice. Okay. Let's check this out. All right, so let's see right here. Should appear anytime soon. All right. Okay, so let me just leave this over here. So let's check this out. Okay, should you remarry if your husband or wife leaves you? You understand what I'm saying? That's the issue. Okay, that's the issue right here. So let's check out this issue. This is an important issue. So let's check out verse 14 again. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified through his wife, and the unbelieving wife, okay, right, is sanctified through her believing husband. Now check this out. For otherwise your children are unclean, but now they are holy. Now verse 15. Yet if the unbelieving one, it could be either, meaning that's a preposition. I mean, not a preposition, a pronoun. Yet if the unbelieving one, and that covers everybody, a wife or a husband, okay? If the unbelieving one leaves, then y'all can't get married. Is that what the apostle says? That's not what the apostle's going to say. Verse 15 of chapter 7 of 1 Corinthians. Yet if the unbelieving one leaves, all right, let him leave. So if you're married and you're a believer and your spouse leaves you because he's unmarried, now the qualification is that the person has to be an unbeliever. So if you're married and the unbeliever doesn't want to be with you, let him leave or let her leave. Yet if the unbelieving one leaves, let him leave. The brother or the sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God has called us, okay, to peace. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means if you're a believer and you're married to an unbeliever, I don't care if it's a husband, I don't care if it's a wife, doesn't make a difference. You could be a man married to a woman, or you could be a woman married to a man, and if they're not a believer and they leave, let them leave. But guess what? The brother or the sister is not under bondage in such cases. This is a particular case. Now, you're going to be under bondage if the person is a believing spouse. You can't get married again. I'm sorry. If you know that your wife or your husband is a believer and they leave, well, you can't use this text. It says if an unbeliever leaves, then you can get married again. Because the deal is, check this out. Yet if the unbelieving one leaves, let him leave. The brother, you see, the brother that's married to the wife, or the sister that's married to the unbeliever that just departed, is not under bondage, meaning you're not tied to that marriage. You're not under bondage. In such cases, but God has joined us to call us to peace. Meaning that's not the way of God. I mean, to be bickering and fighting and complaining and all that stuff. He didn't call us, he called us to peace. So So don't let it reach to that boiling point. Maybe the unbelieving spouse left you because you're a witch, or you're acting like one. Maybe the unbelieving wife, okay, all right, is I'm sorry. Maybe the I'll say it like this. Maybe the unbelieving wife left you because you're a two-faced double-crosser as a Christian, and she should have left you. She ain't got the Bible to guide her. She's just going to leave you. You're a double-crossing, no good, two-faced, And if you're a two-faced double-crasher as a woman, God's going to leave. God has called us to peace. Don't give them any excuses to leave, though. Don't make it like they want to leave. Because if they leave, it's because they ain't happy with you. Because in this chapter, it says that, there are some unbelievers that want to stay with their believing spouses. So why did this person leave you in the first place? You might have done something wrong. God says God has called us to peace. So don't make it easy for them to leave. Don't be a snitch and everything else. You understand what I'm saying? All right, this is Angelo Quinones giving that. You see? I mean, if we only use the Bible, okay, we'll be happy, guys. I'm telling you. Blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, meaning the Bible, and in that law does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted beside of rivers of water. And is that what I'm saying? But the wicked are not so, but are like the chaff. They're like the chaff. They're not planted by the rivers of water. Their delight is not in the law of the Lord. So, if you marry an unbelieving a woman or an unbelieving man, you got what you deserve. And this video was to teach you guys not to do such things. This is Angelo Quinones giving glory to God the Father, to the Lord Jesus Christ, and in the Holy Spirit. And by the way, happy Valentine's Day, guys and gals. Take care. Mwah. Bye-bye. Man, I don't even know what button turns this off. Okay, I don't know what button. Oh, man. Where is the button, by the way? I don't even know. I guess it's like over here someplace. I don't even know where it is. Take care, guys.